We're joined by Mr. Rich Liebler, the Chief Administrative Officer with Sansone Auto Group and a longtime supporter, funder, and partner with New Community's Automotive Training Program. Welcome and thank you. Rich, thank you for joining us.
It's nice to be here.
Great. So Rich, why don't you tell us and the audience a little about your experience, the background of New Community's Automotive Program, and our partnership with employers over the years.
Okay. Well, it goes back a long time now. Back in the early 90s, I represented all of the Ford Motor Company dealers in the country. And while we're out there, we're talking about the lack of technicians. And at that time, and I think it's still pretty much the same, we were short 60,000 technicians. Unfortunately, I had a personal situation with my 17-year-old son got killed in a car accident, so I wanted to do something, in his memory. And it seemed like a logical choice. I was a local car dealer, about 1,000 feet outside of Newark. I'm looking at the fact that we're shortage of technicians. So I ended up by partnering with Monsignor Linder at New Community, and we co-founded the Youth Automotive Training Center, a little over 20 years ago. And so far, we've probably graduated over 700, students into our industry.
Great. In terms of the program and its components and sort of initial employer partners, tell us a little bit about how you were able to get Ford Motor Company, a large employer, to support and sponsor the automotive training program that we have in Newark.
Well, one of the other coincidences is that I happen to be friendly with Edsel Ford, the great-grandson of Henry Ford, and we had a conversation about the needs. And Ford sells a lot of cars into the urban communities. Maybe we should deep dive in there and see what we can do to help out some at-risk individuals. And he put up over a 10-year period of time over $1 million into the program,
wow.
And we went from there.
Yep, and as Rich referenced, the program is located at 210 West Bigelow Street, the Automotive Training Program, and it's a fully operating automotive training center that has 14 automotive bays. And Rich, talk a little bit about that investment. How important was it to have Ford's investment into capital, equipment, materials, supplies, curriculum? What's the importance of having that connection with Ford as we sort of developed the program 20 years ago?
Well, Ford was key to the program because in order for a program to be successful, it has to stay current with local, logistics and technology. When I visited some of the high school programs, they were working on carburetors that hadn't been on a car in a long time, so it kind of dawned on me that we needed to be state of the art. And Ford Motor Company needs starter technicians to come up, into the industry. So Ford constantly training our instructors, is very beneficial. We compared our program with profit programs, and one of the things we found is that a lot of these other programs, the students were working in the classroom 80% of the time.
Correct.
So we did a best practices, we reversed it, and our students work on cars 80% of the time.
Correct.
And that makes them a lot more valuable.
Absolutely. It's really the combination of hands-on experience, classroom experience, but the most important part about it is just being able to complete tasks. So, and you had also referenced in your role as the Chief Administrative Officer with Sansone Auto Group currently. Tell us a little about your role as an employer in hiring graduates from our program and doing the best you can to lessen that gap of needed technicians throughout the industry.
One of the interesting things we found, what most people don't realize, is that we're not just sales and service. We're a regular corporation that has logistics, accounting, and one of the things we found that when we put these individuals, they may not want to stay as a technician. Correct. And we have a lot of individuals that have graduated into being service writers. They work in parts departments. They work in the accounting office. So we found that the industry needs employees, not just technicians. But the fact that they've gone through this program makes them ready to adapt to whatever they want to do when they get a little older and make their final career decisions.
Sure. And even at Sansone, in your current role as the Chief Administrative Officer, you've been able to hire technicians as well as you pointed out, some of the related positions and areas within the automotive field. But just tell us a little bit about Sansone, the number of dealerships, the opportunities that are available for students and graduates at Sansone.
One of the nice things about working at Sansone is that we have 6 different franchises, and we actually have 6 different dealerships set up on one piece of property, and we have 400 employees. We probably sell over 12,000 cars a year and repair a few hundred a day. So we really need the help. And the nice thing about working with New Community and helping these fellows get a start, and young ladies get a start, is that we're not training for what they refer to as the backbreaking jobs. They're not going to work at Mickey D's. They don't want to work in warehouses. So the advantage we have is that we have careers.
Correct.
And a lot of our careers can work their way up to 6-figure type of incomes.
Wow.
So that's a huge difference when you're working with a young person that doesn't know exactly where they want to go, knowing that they're not going to be stuck at minimum wage, that if they choose to follow a career path, that's what we have in our industry.
Well, that's good to know. And again, the added sort of point to Rich's comment is there's growth, right? We're talking
Right.
careers, we're talking opportunities beyond just an entry-level position, and you can work your way up to a 6-figure salary. So with that being being the case, walk us a little bit about what it is that you're looking for as an employer, right? Is it the punctuality, the presentation, the skills? What is it that you're looking for as an employer as you look to hire a student from our program?
What's interesting for me is that I get to see the new students from day one. And I go there, I try to get there once a week, and what I try to do is teach employment skills. And what we do is we don't just say to work on time. We try to show them the ramifications of what happens in a customer's mind when the technician shows up a half hour late and they're in a hurry. So I think one of the things that differentiates us from other schools is that we literally are teaching the individuals how to be an employer, how to be an employee. And I think that's what a lot of these individuals, they need to know. They need to know their expectations.
And what are some of the expectations of an employer?
It really is pretty basic. That being to work on time, is important. Being reliable, not calling in with a lot of excuses on a Monday morning that you can't come to work and you have this one day 24-hour flu that you're fine the next day. We teach them that we know this.
Sure.
So not good for your career choice. If this is what you're going to do. I think one of the biggest changes that we've made to improve the program is the internships.
Correct.
There's some perceptions out there with some of our individuals that they may not be perceived as being the best employee prospects, but now that we bring them to a dealership and we tell the employer, let this person work in an unpaid internship for 30 days and judge them. And the problem we have right now is that they want to hire them before they even complete the program, because if they get to know everybody as an individual as opposed to maybe a preconceived statistic.
Correct. And that's an excellent segue when you talk about the employer looking to hire students even prior to the internship coming to an end, the actual need for technicians, right? So there's a growth aspect of it. Tell us a little bit about, you look at our program, areas of expansion, other populations we might want to recruit from that has transferable skills that could be good prospects for our program, but more importantly for our employer. What other demographics and areas of students we should recruit?
Well, veterans for one. Just happen to be wearing my Marine Corps logo on here so you can see where I come from. But I think a lot of the young veterans that are coming out of the service, it's very important for us to find them employment. So they're going to be a natural resource for New Community. We're expanding to diesel technology,
Correct.
Which I've been nagging you for
Sure.
a few years. And a lot of the individuals coming out of the military have diesel technology already. They just got it geared around the cars.
Sure.
So we're looking forward to expanding with diesel, and we're looking forward to expanding with veterans. We're looking forward to telling individuals that there's many different types of jobs within our industry once you have that basic technological knowledge.
Great. And what's some of the work that Sansone is doing with veterans to sort of close that gap? Number one, letting veterans know that a program exists, and to your sort of real point, in giving them the skills that are transferable for employers. So what initiatives do you currently have with Sansone and veterans?
Well, Mr. Sansone created the Sansone Military Training Center. He's very dedicated to working with veterans, and we also partnered with a nonprofit called Bridging the Gap. So individuals coming out of the military, this company, what they do is they train them how to interview, they train them how to go on LinkedIn, how to try to tell employers that the skills that they have that they learned in the military. And what we're going to do is try to refer them to New Community as a resource for really learning automotive training.
Great. And when you look at our program in terms of how it's grown over the last 20 years, from a maintenance light repair entry-level technician training program to have a strong partnership with employers like Sansone and yourself and Ford, and then to say a natural growth for our work would be working with veterans and, as you pointed out, expanding our program for diesel technicians and training students for that career path, which for us is a very good opportunity considering where we're located and the port and the number of diesel jobs, mechanic jobs that are available. One last point as we wrap up, what's the one message, Rich, you would say that speaks to New Community's long-standing program for 20 years that allows us to operate another 20 years beyond?
Well, going out and telling individuals that if you want a career and not a back-breaking job, you have lots of opportunities in the automobile industry. We're one of the largest industries in the country. We have 500 dealers in New Jersey and probably another 2,000 independent repair places. So it's just unlimited opportunities for people, in our industry.
Great. So if anyone is interested in learning more about our program, we welcome you to contact New Community Workforce Development Center at 973-824-6484. And we also encourage you to apply by going online, www.newcommunity.org, and complete an intake form. We're recruiting candidates for a class starting in June of this year, and we welcome you to sign up, join our program, because we're looking for quality students, quality applicants. Again, because of the connection with employers, you hear firsthand, getting through our program, having the job readiness skills, the hard skills, the training skills, there will be an opportunity on the back end. And that's only made possible due to the strong partnerships with Ford, with Sansone, and our other employer partners. So we welcome you to apply, go online, learn more about New Community Workforce Development Center, our automotive training program, by calling the number and visiting us on the website. Thank you, and look forward to all of the wonderful applicants that will apply for our program.